Welcome back to another episode of Stellaris, and we are here with the United Terran Alliance as we continue to expand, explore, and not really conquer. We're kind of nice, right? Maybe just give great trade deals. So we're here on the kind of the eastern-ish, if you want to give it cardinal directions from the core of the galaxy. We're kind of on this east to southeast part of the galaxy. We are trying to explore a couple different routes. So the priority right now for our species is to expand as fast as possible. It's basically the start of the game is kind of a land grab. So much like some of the other Paradox grand strategies that don't involve preset territories, you want to rush out as fast as possible. Same thing like Civilization, for example. You're always rushing out and going as fast as possible in one or so directions. So we know that for the most part, we are clear all the way up into this area. This faction here is kind of a unique faction where it's basically mercenaries. So they're not going to expand from those locations. Now we can actually go and attack them, but their strength is pretty strong, pretty high. So we're not going to be able to oust them, anywhere in the immediate future. One other option we might look at is grabbing this area to the east of us. Again, cardinal directions are useless in space, but just for reference purposes, I'm going to use that, or maybe I'll just say right of us. But to the right of us here, I call these little neighborhoods. I like them because all these kind of interconnect, and there's only 2 exits out of the neighborhood, or I guess, yeah, 2 complete exits. So this goes to a dead end. So really, is Wyra, is Vera, complete. And Gillis. I also was complaining last episode because I can barely pronounce half the systems right now. So we finished Gossamer. What else are you up to? I think you're going to... Let's survey... I'm going to manually order you to survey this. I know I had you go in to do this special project, but I want you to really get the next couple of systems, because I'd like to see if we have any neighbors surprising us from this direction. I don't think we would. I believe we would have spotted them from here. But it would be nice. We could actually take all the way... I mean, this is very long term. We could spread all the way down to here. We could spread all the way up in this quadrant to the north, and then this quadrant to the northeast as well. So lots of options for us. It's just the hardest part is getting out there with that knowledge and actually learning what's where. We are having one of the other science vessels right now do a special mission, or 2 special projects. And where's Juan Zhao? Juan, are you on? You're actually all the way over here. So eventually we'll have Juan come over here and do these different anomalies that we've been kind of stacking up because we weren't really ready yet. Okay, so Redemption is now all set. We're building Redemption up to the north. We're expanding our colonies. Interesting that it gives us its own different sector. That was new. You used to have to name sectors or give sectors kind of manually here. That's kind of interesting. So our sector's completely independent then. Maybe they're preset, kind of like how you get continents on Civ 6 or Civilization or something like that. Okay, so I think we just unlocked destroyers, right? Yeah, we got destroyers, which is great. We need to do... This would reduce the cost of corvettes by a bit, and we do wind up building a lot of corvettes. So perhaps anything that would give us a cheaper corvette cost would be decent. It's also really cheap in terms of the engineering
System survey complete.
I would like to grab engineering research increase, but let's go ahead and grab corvettes for now, because this is a big boost to the speed. So if we have an emergency and we need to spam out a bunch of corvettes, that is going to come in handy. We have a singularity over here. I don't think you can do anything with this. That's right. All of these things, like an L gate, there's a gateway, there's a wormhole here. All of these require you to have a certain level of technology before you're able to take advantage of them. So as we are right now, we're so minuscule and peon-esque that we're not able to do anything with them. Now we actually do have, though, we were able to get 10 population here in New Eden, so we have a new building slot available. We also have no housing right now. I'm going to build our first city district on New Eden. We already have our gene clinic, and I'm a big fan of gene clinics. Now, I did say that I wanted to handle the consumer good problem. Although it seems like now we've fixed that somehow. Did we build a separate one over here? Or is it because we've started a new colony? I don't know how. Maybe we got... how did we get more trade goods here? Oh, monthly trades. Maybe we actually started... No, monthly trades is what I made. Base jobs. So maybe at some point I've made more jobs. I could have sworn that I didn't make anything that would give us additional civilian industries unless I did this last turn and I replaced something.
Construction complete.
Either way, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. So we'll be okay with that.
Special
What about reduction in
complete.
maybe population or something like that? So we're pretty well balanced right now. What can we build here on New Eden? Especially something that's going to help us long term. I do like the monuments because anything that gives you the Unity research, Unity goes towards unlocking new traditions. So I do like to put down the Unity producing buildings early. We don't have any problems with amenities right now, so we don't need anything like a hollow theater. Luxury resources, this would be housing and amenities. Really, I just don't see anything that we need at this very moment. So let's go ahead and do the monument here, which is going to give us the Unity jobs, which should increase our Unity over time so that we can start unlocking more and more traditions, which unlocks more ascension perks, which is kind of the name of the game at the moment. We do need to have our construction ship come back this way and finish off some of these new bits of research that have been unlocked through science. So we discovered something in a planet.
Special project complete.
Ooh. Super solid materials. That's interesting. So that means that we basically get a bonus of that. Oh. Exciting. Okay, so that was, I think that was for the L gate that we unlocked over here. It was kind of a just flavor text to say that, oh, you've unlocked L gate, which is a, I don't actually know what, I don't think I know what an L gate is. I don't think I've seen an L gate. I've seen a wormhole, and I've seen a gateway. But I don't know if I've ever seen an L gate, so maybe this is something new from Le Guin or from Megacorp. Where's our science ship? You just finished your 2 special projects here. Why don't you actually go up here and do that special project, and then I'll have you start doing survey work in... I will just put you on an automatic exploration from there. That's fine. You should wind up trying to explore the closest areas, so maybe he'll flip down here or go anywhere. Really, we just need to get this whole area explored, which is obviously easier said than done. What else is going on? We've got a good amount of alloys built up. I think I want to keep expanding our fleet for the inevitable battle that's going to come at some point. Oh, we do have the destroyer. Let's actually take a look at the shipbuilding capacity, or the ship designer. So our auto-best destroyer went with a bunch of coil guns and some red lasers with 1 point defense. So if you're not familiar with how to make these, how you're customizing your ships in Stellaris, you have multiple sections of the ship, and a larger ship will have 3. And you can choose a different type of bow, a stern, and then also the core of the ship, or the middle of the ship, at when you get a bigger one. So a picket will give you, for example, a point defense slot, while a gunship will give you 2 smalls and a medium. The artillery will give you 1 large, and so if we wanted to, we could put a super large artillery piece on the bow of the ship. But generally speaking, I don't think that's going to be super useful, because we're more than likely going to encounter some of the smaller ships down the road. So we have something that does armor damage, and we have something that does shield damage, so that's great. So a good combination is to have both of these. That way this ship can handle both the shield. So first, basically, you're going to take down the shields with the coil gun effectiveness, and then you're going to do damage with the laser effectiveness. So I did like how the AI had this, so I'm going to let it do the... oh, can I not let it do that? There it goes. Well, now I picked a different one. That's funny. Oh, I'm looking at the defense station. That's why. So there we go. So we've got 2 lasers, 2 coil guns, and 1 point defense cannon. Honestly, I don't know. I guess we could do 2 smalls and a medium for the gunship bow. I don't know if we need a point defense cannon or not. It wouldn't hurt to be safe. Point defense is really useful against enemies that have missiles. So if we randomly encountered a species that used missiles primarily, that would be a really great defense to have. So it's helpful to recognize, like, if we know what types of weapons the Holy Roman Empire has, then we could counter that with, you know, choosing different things to go on our ship, different defenses, or if we knew that they are heavy into the armor, we could go into things that have heavy armor damage over, you know, something else. Or if they have outstanding shields, then maybe we want to counter that with, you know, more coil guns, for example. This seems fine right now, though. This is a generic across the board. The AI normally will fill all this in. For the most part, I do let the AI just handle the early part of the game's ship design, because I don't think it's too complicated. I don't think I want the point defense on the corvettes. I want the corvettes to hit fast and hard. So I kind of like the idea of being an interceptor. That's three of those slots. And this is a... what the heck is a... this is a missile, right? Yeah, so this is a shield penetration, hull damage. We could, like, make them bombers. That'd be kind of interesting. So what? This ignore shield damage goes right for the hull. We'd still be left over. We'd still have to deal with the shield, and then we get a reduction in armor damage. It's just like almost like neither of these are useful, because then we'll be doing extra damage that's protected by the shields. I think we'll stick with something like the interceptor. That seems like a pretty smart maneuver. So we'll do maybe 1 coil gun to take care of the shields, and then once the shields are gone, we'll rep into it with the lasers. We don't have shields on this yet because I took them off. What else do we have here? Nano. Yeah, and then we'll do a afterburner. What's this? Reactor booster, power gen. We're not near running out of power at this particular moment, so I won't worry about that too much. Okay, so I'm going to auto-generate off, and I'm going to name this, we'll name this something like Hastati. We'll do a little bit of a Roman theme. It's a basic fighter here. So we'll actually do all of our fleet to upgrade to, do we have to refit? It's going to cost us 315 alloy to refit all these. It's going to hurt a little bit, but we'll get it done. Are we already building the... no, we're not. So let's build the Hastati class. Oh, I wonder if I had to... Dang it, I should have done something a bit different. We'll see how that works out.
Research complete.
Okay, research is naval capacity increased. Chemical bliss, that's
complete.
new. This is a rare technology card, so this doesn't happen all the time. I don't know what this lets you... It's a feature. Oh, allows us to set the chemical bliss living standard. This is under the edict area. Or, sorry, the decisions? Where'd it go? Policy. I think it is... It might be set under your species, actually. Under their rights, yeah. I think that's it. So, living standards, decent conditions. Oh, we don't even have this available at the moment. So I think it would actually add a new living standard that is the bliss, the drug bliss, basically, the whatever that was, chemical bliss. Living standards are something you can set to different citizens. So, for example, if we didn't want the buggers to have the same living conditions as we did, we could change this so that, okay, well, they're not considered citizens. They're only considered to be residents in our area. Or if we don't want them using some of our resources, then we could change this to something like, you know, basic subsistence or something like that. I mean, for the moment, we're very outgoing. You know, as you can see, we're a very open species, so we're not going to restrict anyone's access or anything like that. For us, though, did I want to change this at all? Academic privilege gives you prioritizes the education, 15% happiness, although we have much higher upkeep. So workers are 0.25 upkeep. Well, they stay 0.25 upkeep here. This gives everyone a huge boost to happiness. Oh, that's what it was. Specialists get a 15% and rulers get a 15%. Okay, so I'm trying to look at the cost there. The upkeep is what I'm looking at. Social welfare. That would go 0.5 from the workers. Give everyone a bit of a boost to happiness. I don't remember. I think happiness gives you a bonus depending on how pleased your population is with you. Was that the case? Okay. I don't remember if it gives you a bonus or not, though. Okay, so a planet with a low approval rating will have a reduced crime. Stability. Okay, so here's part of it. So stability is based off of your... Okay, there it is. Stability gives you bonuses, and part of that is from the population approval rating, which comes from happiness. So by having a 64% pop approval rating, we're giving the stability a flat 8 bonus to it, which gives us a 7% increase to resources and trade value. So yes, it does pay dividends to make sure your citizens are happier than, you know, the average, for example. So we could look at... We're still back to being kind of low-ish here. So if I wind up doing this, I'd have to counter that with more consumer goods. Maybe we'll do that once we have another slot here on the on Earth to build a new building. Okay. Sorry, that was probably a little bit in-depth and confusing there, but we'll work it out. The planetary capital has a upgrade, which we'll do. That turns it into from a reassembled ship shelter to an actual kind of the main capital here, planetary administration building. Also allows us to build new things. So all of that was because I wound up looking at chemical bliss. We will go ahead and get colonial centralization because we want that planetary capital. Don't think I want the chemical bliss. It doesn't seem a great way to enhance your intelligence and your science, right? That seems like it would distract you. I don't know. I'm trying to think of what our people would want. They might. Who knows? Maybe they do want to live in chemical fascination. Okay, so we're moving along here. Again, our goal is to continue to expand into this area. We want to explore what's next to us. We want to find our nearest neighbors.
Upgraded.
So we know where we're going to be getting, stuck in here. Okay, all of these ships did upgrade to the Hastati class, the new design that I put down. So maybe we can add a couple more Corvettes. You know what? I'll be smart about it, and I'll wait for this Corvette cost to research. That way it's reduced. Construction ship isn't doing much, but there's really not much to do with it, though. We'll go ahead and add a research station here. And we'll add a mine for the energy credits here.
Complete.
So this is an ocean world. Now we don't have...
Construction complete.
Compatibility there. Okay, so the buggers are the same as we are. They also like continental. Although I think the other race that we're meeting here, our neighbors to the south, basically the Vulcans, they do like the drier worlds. So they're going to prefer the savanna preference. Go ahead and grab that. How are we doing here? We've been kind of at peace with them for a while now. We've got 100 trust, which gives us a flat 100 to our relations, which is nice. So I don't think we're going to have any surprises there. I'm still very surprised that the Church of the One True Gilbert has not tried to install any corporate office on our world, because normally they would have done that by now. And of course the Holy Roman Empire hates us. I think that if it came to it, we would probably give up Ramsir. Would lose, we would lose all these things in the system as they came through, and if they attacked us, they would destroy it. I'd rather put all of our defenses here in Lothandra, because it serves as a junction between two incoming possible routes for enemies. Not to say that the One True Gilbert are our enemies, but you never know what could happen. On that note, because this is the most likely route, I do want to make sure that this station is pretty up to date on its defenses. So what does our defense platform look like? It's got coil guns, and it's got, okay, that's fine. I wonder, can we make it a bunch of missiles?
Evading hostile fleet.
I'm pushing too many buttons here. Let me close this, and we'll go take a look at what just happened here. Faint signal almost lost in the gamma ray. Okay, interesting. And then encounter in Abadan's demens. Is this a super? Nope, not really. Okay, this is just an alien ship. There is a special project, but we can't get to it because there's a huge fleet in the way. So our ship is going to leave this area, which is fine. It's got an automatic runaway order given to it. So let's go back to Lathandra's starbase here, or station. I think we were looking at the defense platform. If we could do missiles, this would be, they would all penetrate the shield and do direct hull damage. And I think I like that idea. I like having a missile-only station that just launches missiles over and over and over again. We'll have the AI auto-complete the rest of it. We don't need reactors because we're nowhere near our power usage here. And we do have very strong shields on this station. I do like to keep it relatively even, because if the enemy comes in with, you know, if we happen to have all shields, until we know what they're actually using, it's not a bad idea to keep everything relatively even. Okay, so we're going to call this the Bulwark. And what we're going to do is build a couple of these style defense platforms in this system. What else can we build here? We've got gun batteries. I think gun batteries just give you protection range. I don't think it actually, is it 2 missile weapon slots to the starbase? I think it just throws out the highest level missiles you have with your, you know, with your species. So whatever you've researched. Okay, Corvette technology is done. This is super solid. This is something that we got a bonus to before, and I think we'd have a 30% bonus to this if we researched it. Starhold is an option. Betharian power plant. Do we have access to Betharian? I don't know if I could tell what my special... Here we go, up here, I think. We don't have anything that we could use really right now. Synthetic crystal plants. Yeah, let's go ahead and grab this super solid. It's going to take us quite a bit of time, but I think it'll be worth it in the long run because it's going to give us a nice bonus to the output of our scientists. Science ship is taking a nap. We'll give it an automatic order to explore. It should take it all the way down either of these 2 routes. So in terms of expanding for researches, for resources, who just got? Oh, actually, the leader died, and now we have a snap election. We could, let's see. Everyone's actually really old here. All of our leaders are going to start getting knocked off here in the next little bit. We probably want to save up money for hiring new leaders because it's going to have a bit of a cost to it. It's unfortunate because our scientists have really, you know, as they level up, they get additional research speed bonuses and things like that. And so it's gonna stink to lose these guys, especially Ilau, who has 5% flat 5% research bonus. Okay, we'll put our point into here. So now we have a lower building upkeep and district upkeep cost. We're getting pretty close again on these
research complete.
Basic resources. Oh, we've met the field of Brussels sprout. That's somewhere. Where did they come from? Oh, they're up here. Okay. This is our new northern neighbor. And sure enough, they actually came all the way down to Diomia. So I want to really quickly... What are you building right now? You're building a mining station. As soon as you're done there, I want to grab this station from... I mean, it doesn't really matter. I just like to grab as much as possible. I'm just greedy. If we get this, though, we would then have access to all these 3 systems as well. And it would prevent the field of Brussels sprouts from expanding farther south. And I think I'll keep Iswiria here as a good blocker in case they come from this route. If they expand somehow over here, they'll get blocked on both of these sides here. Hope that makes sense with how these, because they can only travel down these routes. So to me, it makes a lot of sense. You're basically just preventing people from flanking you and you know, invading your territory or getting you in an uncomfortable position. Chemical plants gives minerals into volatile motes, which give you, I think, some kind of a bonus to maybe shields or something like that. Wouldn't mind having a listening post. That would be actually really nice to put on our borders to make sure no one's stacking up. I think we lost our scientist. Is this one of our scientists? I believe it was. So we need to assign a new scientist. Ooh, excellent. Genius. I love the... Ooh, there's 2 geniuses here. All right, we'll give it to Martin first because he's youngest. So he's our new physics leader in research. Okay, and we have Alpha Centauri is fine. I'm more worried about getting everything filled out here at Lothandra, because I do believe at some point we will have a battle with our good friends and neighbors. We'll actually put the fleet in Lothandra as well. What about trade with our new colony? Is that established yet? No, trade is only going between Lothandra and Sol. It's actually picking up stuff in Alpha Centauri too. It picks up trade anywhere that you have a developed station as opposed to just an outpost. So if we started to do trade from as soon as we get Aswiria built up and we add a starport there, or a bigger station, the trade will try to go to Earth, but it might actually encounter piracy because there's a lot of unprotected systems here. So we'll probably need to have our people do some patrols, our main fleet do some patrols between the 2 areas.
System survey complete.
Alright, we're at max capacity right now on jobs. I think I'm going to queue up a generator district and a food district. That way we'll get those jobs ready to go. It'll also add a bit of housing, and then it'll help us deal with the declining levels of resources here. Redemption. Oh, is redemption done? Goodness, I can't believe I missed this. Okay, so redemption apparently was finished, and I didn't even catch it. We need to assign a new governor. What could be a good governor here? What is this one? Crime? Oh, that's interesting. That might be good if someone tries to put one of the main megacorps here, the criminal megacorps. We already have a little bit of crime. But as soon as we put down a governor, I think the governor does have some crime fighting ability no matter what their specialty is. Oops, I don't want to take her. I want to recruit someone new. So food from jobs wouldn't be bad. Building costs would be really good for a new planet. In fact, I think I'm going to take that one because it's going to reduce all the cost, increase the speed. We're going to have a lot of building in the next couple of years here with redemption. So that'll be good to have right off the bat. Sol is... I think this indicator means that we're full. Oh, no, we have blockers that we could clear that are preventing us from having more agricultural districts. So if we clear this, we would get... that's a generator district, agricultural district right there. Okay, so if we clear this, we would wind up getting 3 more of the agriculture districts. So you can only have so many agriculture or mining or generator districts. And some of those maximums are blocked by tiles. Just like the old tile blockers. Okay, so the United Terran Alliance has finally gotten basically squished on all sides. We could expand to the edge of the known galaxy, which would not be a bad idea. And I might try to start expanding that way because we've not found anyone in this general vicinity. The only downside is that it always costs you alloys when you're expanding and building your station. So it's kind of this fine balance between expansion and, holding back a little
Anomaly found.
If you need to build, ships with your alloys. Actually, maybe we should look into getting another alloy foundry. Do we have a more powerful version of that, by the way? I don't think we do. All we have is the alloy foundry. We might look at building another one of those so we can have even more alloys. Do any of these planets give alloys as a resource. No, they don't. I do not see that. Well, which way do we want to expand? We could go off of either of these routes. We could come back towards the singularity down here, or we could expand to the quote-unquote west from where the Targon is and take this little neighborhood, or we can come off of Elamir here and go up this direction. We've got the planetary capital, and we also received a message from the Curator Order. I think you could trade with this group, and you can get research from money. The Hand of Armok, again, another... unfortunately, the picture actually doesn't do it justice. On Quill's Let's Plays, he actually has a Dwarven race. He has a Dwarven model that takes the place of the Hand of Armok. If you're not familiar with Armok, it's from Dwarf Fortress, and you really just need to play Dwarf Fortress. I mean, that's all there is to know about that one. Starbase capacity of +2, which actually I think this is going to be really important because we are in the middle of trying to expand. So let's add Starbase capacity. We found the Serene Cat Empire. I honestly think our entire, and the other races in this galaxy will be from Quill's, faction pack, I guess. So the Serene Cat Empire is tucked right next to the field of Brussels sprouts. We really haven't even checked on our relations. What are you guys? You are collective consciousness. Wow, we just found someone else too. Lagan Choose Star Regime. Okay, they are also authoritarian. Lots of authoritarians in this mix. We're like suddenly getting a burst of all these different people here. So our nearest neighbors... Oh, that's right. The field of Brussels sprouts is basically in France. Yeah, there also is like Belgium somewhere along the way too. And yeah, they've got waffles. It's great. Field of Brussels sprouts, you're a hive mind, so you don't care too much. You are xenophilic, so you have a bonus to your diplomacy. I think we'll try to be nice to them as much as possible and let them fight it out with some of these other ones. The tree hive is now the rival of the Church of the One-Two Gilbert. That's okay. We don't mind that too much. We're actually in a really nice spot. Our only real threat right now is the Holy Roman Empire. Now that we're starting to see what the galaxy looks like, I think we're going to spread this direction to kind of tuck into the edge of the galaxy here and secure our position with enough resources to really start focusing on probably mega projects. I'm always a big fan of mega projects. It helps you take advantage of limited amounts of space. So if you're kind of tucked into the corner here and you don't have a lot of room for expansion, we could look at getting a ring world, for example, letting our people colonize a ring world, which would let us, counteract the fact that we're not really going to get too many more planets here. Let's see, the Serene Cat Empire, also authoritarian and militarist. We're probably not going to be great friends down the road, but that's fine. And the Lagan Choose, you're pretty neutral right off the bat. We can't really do too much with any of these new groups. I don't see any options for... Nice. I don't see any options for diplomacy, so the dwarves aren't going to like us either. Okay, lots of new things popping up out of nowhere. So you're heading this way. I want you to explore actually all the way up to here, and then you'll come back and survey, because you actually can give them an explorer option, which lets them go somewhere without having to stop every time to survey, and then you'll come back and do the rest of your survey work. I want to see what's at the other end of the light here. What's at the end of the tunnel? Maybe, for the sake of having a nice clean border, we push out to, is it Sarek? Right here, Sarek? We take this neighborhood here, and then we start to push back this way, and with the goal of eventually moving down and getting this entire neighborhood.
Anomaly found.
It seems like a pretty easy thing to do. In air quotes, easy thing to do. Okay, our colony is doing all right. We're actually running out of jobs here in a moment, so I'm going to put the first city district up. And then I will put a food agricultural district up as well. Got it. Again, it's nice that this guy, the governor, has a architectural bonus because we get the building cost reduction and the speed increase. So they build a little bit faster and cheaper than everything else. Alright, construction ship. What are you up to? You're not doing a whole lot right now. Let's go ahead and... Who has a lot of resources coming up here? Let's grab this little pocket of space. Is what we'll do. And then when that's done, we'll have him go around and build mining stations and all of those, and up in here, and we'll get those research stations as well. That will start to embiggen our name a bit this direction, and we'll spread out again to the edge of the galaxy. Hopefully, what I'm sending our people upwards is to prevent someone from surprising us by suddenly appearing right next to us. You know, like what if the one true Gilbert goes all along this line? You know, we don't want them to sweep around us. That's just they're gonna be too big, basically. And I really do need to get more alloys. That's kind of our main bottleneck right now. That's one of our resources that we're using the most of. Okay, Holy Romaine is now in a neutral with a non-aggression pact. Yeah, okay. Do we have any more options here for diplomacy? We really don't. I mean, we're already basically doing everything we possibly can. Okay, so now we have two quasi-alliances. It's us versus them. It's nicer for us because we're a little bit closer together, I think. I guess it's the same. The pyramid schemes would have to send all their forces into Holy Romaine, and the Church of the One True Gilbert would also have to send all their forces into us if we were to help out. Okay, so Holy Romaine and pyramid schemes are doing all sorts of brotherly love here. They also probably got that migration treaty. Hope that wasn't useful for us. Yeah, I think we definitely want to have that expansion here down the road. Wait, where's that? Up here? Just Khan Imperium. Okay. Alpine World. I think we did get pretty lucky here, I believe, for the most part. What is this? I think I've seen this one. Huh. Nominate for the Galactic Market Hub. How do we do that? Right here. Galactic Market Hub nomination. Nominate this planet as a trade hub for the coalescing galactic market.
Complete.
I mean, we've tried to be friends with most people. We'll try to see if anyone likes this idea. This world has been nominated, and its relative standing is adequate. Probably because we don't have a lot of trade coming through here and there. But again, we're trying to be a very neutral party to the rest of the galaxy, and we're only responding directly to threats. So that's kind of what the United Terran Alliance is about. It's about furthering their scientific goals, exploration, and the betterment of the species, but not at the detriment of other races. So it makes a bit of sense. This is a great system to grab. It's got 3 alloys and 2 trade value. As soon as we can, we'll send our construction ship back over here. I actually might build another construction ship too, just so we can have a bit more things going on if we need. Of course we can't because I just used the last bit of the alloys. Yeah, we are so low on alloys right now. We really need to get the Oh, you know what? I'm so silly. I forgot that we have this monthly option to get a steady supply of alloys. Let's go ahead and change our sell order to like 20 minerals. What do you want? You have ore. We don't really need ore. We're plenty good on ore. I mean, I don't know what a good rate is here. It's 2.8. Okay, 1.3. So this must shift. So maybe we want to sell a 1-for-1 and wait for the rate of exchange to be 1. I don't know. I think this just makes... Yeah, this is optional. So we'll just do it like that. Okay, so we're still buying consumer goods. I want to try to buy some alloys here. Let's set up an automatic trade to buy alloys. Maybe at 5 or so. What does this cost us in terms of energy credits? It might take a bit to kick in here. Ooh, that's going to be super expensive. Seriously? That's crazy. Very, very expensive to buy those 2 alloys. I shifted everything up a bit. Okay, that's good. Racket Industrial Fleet has evacuated an abandoned decrepit ship. Yeah, we'll search it, see if there's any good resources in there. They've abandoned it, right? So one person's trash is another person's treasure. Sounds good. We'll bump that alloy up to 3. Do we have a spare?
System survey complete.
You're the closest science ship, I think. Arguably. So what do we need to research this with? I actually think it's an event, and we'll see it as they pass through. I think we'll just see something stand by here off to the side. I'm not quite sure. Or I lied completely. Where's their special project at? Where's the ship they've abandoned? I seem to be blind. I don't think I can see it. There it goes. Okay, so it's just sitting right here. What do we need for this? We needed a science ship, or is it like a construction ship? One construction ship in orbit. Perfect, because we wanted to build a construction ship, which will then be in orbit, which will then send to do that little special thing. Okay. Alright, guys. I think we're getting to the point where we can call this episode a wrap, and we'll come back to this fairly soon. But thank you so much for joining me for this episode of Stellaris, a Megacorp expansion, and the Le Guin update. I think we are doing okay. We've met a lot of people this episode, so we've got lots of new neighbors, but I think for the most part, except for apparently Pyramid Schemes Incorporated, although that makes sense because they are allied or defensively allied with the Holy Roman Empire. So we will return the favor and also rival them because it does give us extra influence every month. So, thank you so much for joining me for this episode. I do hope to see you again next time.